Alright, welcome back to another module of the WordPress 101, which is a beginner's friendly guide to learning WordPress. So in this section, we're going to be talking about career path with WordPress. I mean, what can you really do with WordPress? So we've been talking about what WordPress is and how people are using WordPress, but what can you really do with WordPress, and what are the career paths that one can find with WordPress. So in the next slide, we are going to be taking a look at some of these career paths with WordPress. Now, what pick career path? First, we have the developer. We have the designer. We have the content creator, project managers, and these project managers, there is the build part and there is the management aspect. So we're going to be talking about that once we reach that aspect. We also have accessibility consultants. So there are some people that are basically accessibility consultant, and we have some others that are not so quite obvious to us. So let's take it one step at a time. A key note here before we begin: while it is great to diversify, by the end of this WP 101 course, well, when I'm talking about WP, I mean WordPress. So by the end of this WP 101 course, you should be able to decide which aspect you are strong with. You know, there are some people that, although they can do everything, but they are strong with the developer aspect, and there are some people that they are strong with the designer aspect. There are some that are strong with the content creation aspect. So by the end of this WP 101 course, since this course is meant to help you get started, you should be able to identify that, okay, although I can do the rest, but this is where my strength really is. So that this doesn't mean that you can't really dive into others, like I mentioned in the second paragraph, but identifying your strength will make it easier much for you to upscale at any time that you want. So it is best that by the end of this WP 101 course, you should be able to decide: do you want to delve into developer aspect? Do you want to master the designer aspect? Do you want to stay in the content creation, the accessibility consultant, the project management? So although you can actually be doing some of these other aspects, but you should try to identify which one do you really want to be strong on. So let's move in and talk more about the career paths that we mentioned earlier with WordPress. So starting first with the developer and designer. So these are major career paths with WordPress. These are really major career paths with WordPress. Like, there's no way out. They are the major career paths, but they are not the only career path. So while a WordPress developer and WordPress designer are the major WP career paths out there, it is not only the ones, like they are not the only ones out there. However, they are very important and inseparable to the development of WordPress and any WordPress website. For instance, the reason why I mentioned that developer and designer are inseparable is because, for instance, if before you can start writing as a content creator on a WordPress website, the website have to be in existence. That is, a designer must have already designed the site, or a developer must already develop the website. So before you can said, okay, you want to be writing as a content creator, and before you can say you want to be an accessibility consultant, the website have to be in existence. Before you can be a project manager, the website have to be in existence. So the WordPress developer and WordPress designer are the major career path, but they are not the only one. However, they are very important and inseparable to the development of WordPress. So that's how WordPress developer and WordPress designer. And for a developer, the developer can actually build plugins, they can code themes, they can do a lot with WordPress. They can decide to write code from scratch to build a plugins. We talk about that. We talk about plugins and themes in the future, but for now, let's just keep it simple so that we don't get overwhelmed. So we just try to take it one step at a time. So with WordPress developer, they are the ones that they can actually code themes, they can build plugins. Right? Designer design the site from they design the website, but they are not the major career path. So this aspect, we are just talking about career path, so we talk more about them in the future. So after the WordPress developer and the designer, we also have the content creator, and this is one of the most popular career paths with WordPress. Like, you see, majority of the sites are Well, I can't really say for majority, but it is very popular. The content creator aspect, you see it like most big news website, even Facebook. When you search for Facebook newsroom, so this Facebook newsroom is making use of WordPress for it. You have the Adobe blog that are making use of it. We have the Nigerian publishing news, the Nigerian publishing companies such as the Vanguard, the Daily Post, the Premium Times, and the likes. They are making use of the content creation aspect. So this is one of the most popular career path. If you are someone who is very good in writing, you can actually make something out of this career path with WordPress. So content creation, so when we're talking about the content creation, some people refer to them as bloggers, but in the real sense we call them online publishers. So the reason why I prefer to use the term online publishers instead of the bloggers is that, for instance, you can't call Nigerian online publishers like Vanguard, Punch, Daily Post, Premium Times. You can't call them a blog, and you can't call the people that write on them a blogger, despite that they are running on WordPress software. So you call them online publishers. So this content creation is a career path on its own. If you are someone that loves writing and you know how to use WordPress very well, you can easily walk up to any of these big news websites and you simply write to them that you would like to be an online publisher on their website. So you write for them based on the number of articles they said they will be expecting from you, and they pay you monthly for it as a content creation. So we also have the project managers as the career path. As this project manager, we have the build versus the management. So what's the difference between the build and the management aspect? A project manager in the build stage serves as an intermediary between the client and the WordPress developer / designer. So if you are a project manager in the build stage, that is, the build stage means the time that they are building the website. So if you are a project manager, you serve as an intermediary between the client and the WordPress developer / designer. So once the developer or designer is building the website, you will be the one to be communicating to and fro between the client and the designer. So if the client says he wants this, you will be the one to communicate that to the developer, and you will also be the one to be tracking the progress and giving the report of how the website is going to the client. This makes it much easier for both the client and the developer / designer once they have the project manager, because sometimes the client might actually be a very busy person. So but you as a project manager, you get the details from the client and you'll be able to work with the designer. So that's for the build stage aspect. And a project manager in the management stage sees to the effective running of a website running on WordPress software. So I've earlier mentioned about the build stage, that it is the time that they are currently building the website, but the management stage is the part where the website is completed, and you as a project manager will see to the effective running of a website. So for instance, I earlier mentioned about Nigerian big online publishing firm. So if you are someone who understand the in and out of WordPress very well, so you can actually be a project manager and you see to the effective running of the website. So, and it doesn't really have to be an online publishing website. It can be even a standard normal website. So as long as the website is serving a very useful purpose to the business owner, so it can be a project manager for the website. So we also have the accessibility consultant. Although this isn't popular yet in Nigeria, but it is still, still important. So, and why is it really important? Accessibility consultant, what does they really do? Yes, after a website is built or before a website is completed in a build process, the accessibility consultant check if everything works as it is supposed to. When a developer is coding or the designer is designing the website, they might actually be seeing the website in their own view, but an accessibility consultant will act as if he or she is a visitor. Although there are some developer and designer that are very good with their craft and they know how to browse the website with as a visitor, such as using the incognito mode and the likes. But you as an accessibility consultant, since it's your area of specialization, you'll be able to know that, okay, this is the part that is likely to need amendment. So you be able to figure that out and you communicate it to the developer and designer, and they work on it. We also have the here in Nigeria we have the yearly WordPress hackathon. So the accessibility consultant is the role that is given assigned to someone that helps check if the website is working as it is supposed to work. And now others. So with the others is, despite that I've mentioned about some characters such as the developer, the designer, the content creator, the accessibility consultant, the project manager, and the like, we might not have even scratched the surface yet, because when you're talking about a powerful software, a powerful open source software such as WordPress, which powers up to 60%, over 60% of website, and over 60% of website in the CMS, and over 40% of the entire website, and still going. So we might not have even scratched the surface yet. There are still some other career paths, but this, in which the one that was previously mentioned, are the most popular one. So with this previous career path mentioned, each path has its own requirement for learning and using them. Even then, so that's what I'm trying to say, that with the previous career path mentioned, each path has its own requirement for learning and using them. But even then, we might not have even scratched the surface about other paths associated with WordPress. However, this path are handpicked to help you get started. So